How is everyone today? It's Chris here. I've got in front of me here the Elephone P5000. Now, I've been using this phone now for just over a day. I thought I'd go over the pros and cons that I've encountered with this phone so far. So first up, the performance of it is really actually quite good. I expected a bit of stutter maybe, or lag, being a cheap phone running on a MediaTek octa-core, but it seems that the MediaTek MT6592, which can run at 1.7 gigahertz, is quite fine, does an acceptable job. I have found no actual lag or stutter when using it, which is great. The phone comes with a few little features that are nice. For example, you've got a couple of settings here, so you can actually do some gesture settings. It's under gesture recognition, so you can have the screen turn on just like you would the LG G2. I think it was the first phone to bring that out. So if I turn it off now, you can just double tap and the screen comes on. So they've ripped that idea off LG, but it's just a nice little bonus on the phone. And battery life seems to be quite good. I haven't had that much of a chance to really push it because due to time constraints really, but I've played a movie for about an hour or so, and I have also been using the camera a fair bit. Got 21 hours so far, and the screen on time I think should be around about 3 hours. Okay, it's just shy of 3 hours so far, and I'm at 61%. I've had Wi-Fi on the whole time, and the phone has also been on most of the time. Now this whole period here where you see the line goes straight there and hardly even drops at all, that was actually just overnight. I left the phone on, so I need to use the battery a bit more, but it does seem like you can probably get quite a decent amount of time on it. And I haven't actually used this CPU power saving mode, so if I use this, I would probably actually save myself a little bit of battery and probably get even more time out of it. So apparently you can get around 2 hours of heavy usage, maybe 3-4 days of medium to light usage on a single charge, which is why I bought this phone. This is it was for my wife, who's always complaining of having a low battery, constantly having to charge her phone all the time. She's someone that doesn't manage her battery too well. So the UI is quite nice. It's the flat icon sort of style that they've used, which seems to be popular at the moment. And as I mentioned, there's no lag or stutter or anything. You've got all the basic kind of applications you do need, which is great. The overall quality of these phone calls on it are good. I'd say they're average. They're not as good as my Note 4, but the Note 4 I think has 3 microphones, so it's a different price range also. And gaming, everything, all the games I've run so far seem to run perfectly fine. There doesn't seem to be any stutter or lag either, so that's quite good. Let me just show you a quick demo of a game here. So it seems fast enough to run a game like Dead Trigger 2.
Okay, let's take it to the right. Are you okay? Yeah, look.
Okay, so gaming doesn't seem to be a problem on the Mali 450MP. It's not the latest GPU, but it still seems to handle 1080p just fine, and you can play every single game, I think, in high kind of settings, high demanding games. That one seems to be quite a, say it's a demanding game, wouldn't it be, Dead Trigger? Okay, so GPS, so tested out the GPS. It takes a little while to get locked, but it works okay. GPS was working just fine. So I mentioned most of the positive things about this phone. The design is relatively good. Another positive feature is right here. You have the dual SIM card, so I've just got one SIM card in here. And there's a full-size large slot, so if you have any older kind of SIM cards, you will have to, you can fit them without using the adapter, because my micro SIM I had to use the adapter here, of course. There's room here for a expandable memory, so that's another positive. You can put in a micro SD card and there, they work fine. So this whole area here, all of this here is the battery. So it's quite a large battery that you have on board. Which is basically what the phone is all about, and what it's built around is that huge battery there. Now even though this looks like metal, I thought it was metal in the beginning, it turns out it actually looks to be just like a plastic that has a kind of like a metallic paint job over the top of it. Even so, the build quality seems pretty good. It doesn't seem to be that bad. I mean, it's not flexing, there's no kind of noises around here when I'm pushing at it. It doesn't seem to be like that. It doesn't feel like it's going to fall apart on me anything. So in that aspect, that is good. This is your antenna here. This is your NFC antenna that clips on. It's on the back of the phone. So you do have NFC on board, which is another good thing about the phone. So it can all be good, right? Especially the kind of price range. A cheap phone like this is about 200 US. Well, there's a couple of things that I've noticed that I don't like about the phone. First off is you have one speaker. Although there are two speaker grills here, you can see there's one there, one up here. There is only sound coming out this one here, so it's just for aesthetics to make it symmetrical. So there's only sound coming out of one speaker. And the speaker volume is not really the loudest. It's okay for rings and whatnot. Which gets me to the other point, that music on it, I've just played a couple of tunes from YouTube and a couple of MP3s, and the volume is really, really low. The sound output is good, it's clear, there's no background hiss. I absolutely hate that on phones when you connect up a phone or a tablet and there's a constant buzz or hiss in the background. There's none of that, but it is lacking volume. There was an option I actually just saw in the settings that maybe I could boost the volume up. I know there is a setting there for boosting the loudspeaker and audio profiles, I think it was. So there's something here to audio enhancer for earphone. Now I haven't actually tried that, but maybe that would boost the volume up. But it's not really the loudest, it's quite low output. So if you're going to run like some Dr. Dre Beats headphones, I don't have any of myself personally, but if you're going to run something like that, I doubt it would have enough kind of power to drive those. It just seems to be quite quiet on that front. The other thing that is really disappointing is the camera. Well, it takes a good photo in daylight, but what I have actually noticed that the pictures that's been taking have a blur to them. I'll have a link with some examples to it. I'll be posting a review of this up on XDA. That there is a blur to the right side of the image, which is really not acceptable. You can't probably see it here, but if I just try to take a photo now, not really anything to take a photo of. Now, take a photo of my mouse. You find that sometimes the lock takes a while, and there is a 8 megapixel front facing camera, which is quite a large amount of megapixels there, and the quality seems to be okay, but just that issue there with the blurriness on one side. So you notice that it tends to be sharper. This is probably not a good example here, but there will be examples on the link with the review and the XTA forums that a lot of the outdoor photos I took would come out fine until you looked at the right side of it. There'll be a bit of blurriness there. So there's maybe, I think my camera has a defect in it, something to do with the lens maybe on it is causing that blurriness. But there's definitely a bit of a defect on my camera, so that's not a good area there. So that's something that really shouldn't be happening. Probably quality control. They just threw it out and thought that would be acceptable. Probably some people it might be. They might not really see it, but there's a bit of a blur there. 16 megapixel camera, and of course I'm not expecting something that would compete with my Note, of course, not for this kind of price range. But overall, I give this phone a 7 out of 10. And why I give it the 7 is just because of those problems with the camera. It has that slight blurriness, and the sound output is really not that loud. It could be louder. And the other thing that would knock it down for is maybe the loudspeaker quality is not really the best. Overall though, it's not too bad. There is of course a fingerprint sensor, which I tried that out. It seemed to work just fine. It's exactly the way my Note 4 works, so you have to keep swiping your thumb over that. It's actually right here, so when you try, you can swipe your finger or your thumb or whatever you want to use. And it seems to work quite well. It's just like the Note 4. So that's a good little bonus, little feature there. And battery life, I'll comment more on that in the thread, which there'll be a link to on the XDA forum. So the battery life looks to be good, but maybe I'd expected maybe a little bit more. Perhaps I need to cycle the battery a few times. It needs to be completely drained and then completely recharged. But overall, it's not a bad phone for the 200. That camera fault might mean I might be actually sending this back and try and get a replacement unit that doesn't have that blurry camera to one side, because that is quite a bit of a niggle there. That's a bit of a problem. And indoor photo quality as well is complete rubbish. It's not very good at all. It often doesn't focus properly when you take an image. So 7 out of 10 phone in my eyes. It would probably suit people that want something that's got a really good battery life, need dual SIM, of course. This is maybe your phone if you don't take a lot of photos. And it could be that you get a camera that's got really good quality, not as bad as mine with the blurriness, so you never know. It is a bit of a lottery though with these Chinese tablets and phones and everything, so you never know what you're getting. You could be slight defects and whatnot. But overall, that is the Elephone P5000. Thank you for watching this short review here. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And subscribe to my channel if you're interested in seeing more videos like this, mainly on tablets from China, but I will do the odd mobile phone from now and then. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.